Shalom, Holy Blossom. This week's Torah portion, Mishpatim, includes many of the nuts and bolts of how to live an ethical life. Judaism is a very practical religion, and there is no aspect of life that Torah does not touch. I want to lift up just one example from this week's Parsha. Last week we received the 10 Commandments. This week there's a pile-on of 53 more. And among them are the laws of how to lend money. In Exodus 22, verse 25, we read, Im kesef talveh. If you lend money to my people, to the poor among you, God says, do not act towards them as a creditor and exact no interest from them. Now, im usually means if. There are countless conditional laws in the Torah. When they're introduced by the word im, it means if. It's circumstantial. But Rabbi Ishmael of the Talmud teaches that in 3 cases in the Torah, im does not mean when, does not mean if, but rather when. And this is one of those 3 examples. When you lend money to my people, to the poor among you, God says. That means this is not conditional or circumstantial. This is an expectation that we all should do our utmost to fulfill. It's likely that someone you know, a friend, a colleague, a relative, a neighbor, is struggling now. And it's likely that someone you know could advance their own life circumstance with just a little bump, just a little support, maybe to pay for the week's grocery bill or the month's housing rent or the semester's school tuition. Now, by wordplay, the rabbis pick up on some hints about the urgency of this mitzvah. In verse 25, we find the word kinosheh and the word neshech. And the rabbis say these 2 words, nosheh and neshech, creditors and interest, sound a whole lot like another word, nachash, which means snake. They draw out the parallel, saying that just as a snake's venom causes swelling and ultimate danger, so can interest on loans. They start small, they swell, they grow and can become dangerous. So if you are in a position to graciously offer an interest-free loan to help see someone through, it might make all the difference, and it certainly would be a mitzvah. I also want to shine a spotlight onto a community organization that you may or may not yet know about. It's called Jewish Free Loan, and it currently has more than 800 active loans worth collectively over $3 million circulating throughout the Jewish community of Toronto. Most of these loans are small, relatively small, and they make all the difference. And there is a great return, a great track record among those who take out these loans from Jewish Free Loan Society. There's a Holy Blossom Temple connection to this wonderful organization. I've recently learned that while it was founded in 1911, it needed to close in 1917 because it wasn't managed well. It's managed very well today. And here's the Holy Blossom connection. By 1922, our own Holy Blossom Temple Rabbi, Barnett Brickner, recommended to Toronto Jewish leadership that society must be created. Auspices and financial backing, B'nai B'rith, and private donors. Imagine that among those private donors were holy members that Rabbi Brickner called upon. $3,800 came from B'nai B'rith, 22, and $1,300 came from private donors. And so then the Jewish Free Loan was reestablished and has been running strong ever since then. These funds can be used for student loans. They can be used for simcha loans. If someone needs to host a wedding or a bar mitzvah celebration, there are many good reasons to turn to this organization for support. And Holy Blossom Temple, a number of years ago, forged a special relationship with Jewish Free Loan so that our own congregants can apply and tap into special funds that are created there for Holy Blossom Temple members. So I hope you'll spread the word to anyone you might know who might benefit from Jewish Free Loan. And I also hope that you might consider, if you have the wherewithal and the circumstance, to offer graciously, privately of course, an interest-free loan to someone you know to help see them through. Take good care, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom.